Hello, hello, hello. You have been working so hard, and I really think you are starting to learn a little bit about Africa. So I think short and sweet and quick really works for you for these lessons. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with this lesson. So same as last time, you're going to write at the top of your paper WG 10.4 because we're in lesson 4. So that WG tells me world geography. 10 tells me it's unit 10.4 tells me it's lesson 4. Okay, write down a number 1. And you are going to write down been abused or abused because that is going to be the answer to the question, which is what happened to most of sub-Saharan Africa's natural resources? What happened to their natural resources? They were abused. So you can either write have been abused or they were abused. Okay, I'm giving you a moment to write that down. And while you're writing that, we'll go ahead and look at number 2. I'm going to make this a little larger here, so you're going to have to let me know if you guys like it larger because then I can... Oh my, that's really large. Okay, number 2 is going to talk about the answers you can see as opposing African tribes. And for number 2, I found some things I didn't like. And I guess the reason I didn't like them is because I think it's embarrassing for us as Americans. So I kind of don't want to talk about it. But, you know, the facts are the facts. And that was that 9 to 12 million Africans were brought to America as slaves. That's really embarrassing. But that's only because we as Americans know that that is really not the way to treat humans. So that's not going to be the question. But the question is... who offered the primary source to Europeans of Africans as slaves? And we have a terrible picture of slavery because we should, but the original intent of it was that you would have a worker. So it was like having a worker that you provided for. But the problem is that whether it was Europe, America, or other parts of the world, slaves, even though they're working for people, they get treated really bad. So it was a really bad thing. So of this whole subject that's uncomfortable to talk about, the thing that we're going to concentrate on for our answer is that most of those sold into slavery were captured by who? Who captured and sold slaves to the Europeans? Other African tribes. So you can write opposing African tribes for number 2 or other African tribes. So 2 African tribes would fight, one would win, one would lose, and the losers got sold as slaves. It was a bad formula, but unfortunately it's part of history. So let's look at the resource of minerals. So Africa has some really interesting things that we love, or like I know I like them. I don't know about you guys. But so now we go to our next question. Let's see, it's going to be number 3. And number 3 is what are one of sub-Saharan Africa's most profitable resources? And it would be minerals. Minerals are their most profitable resources. Well, let's take a look at why. One precious metal they have, I know I love it, is gold. I think you guys would love gold. I know I love gold. But anyway, gold, 50% of the world's gold comes from Africa. Now that is a statistic I like to talk about. And the other one I like. So question number 3 was minerals. Question number 4, what is the precious metal mined in South Africa? Gold. Number 5, how much gold accounts for the world's annual output of gold? And 50% of the gold that's being mined comes from Africa. So number 5 will be 50%, and you can just draw a percent sign if you want. You don't have to write the word out. And so what else do they have? They have a precious gem that I love. Number 6, what is the precious gem that I love? Diamonds. So what precious gem is mined in Africa? Diamonds. Okay, done with the minerals. Let's look at the land. Where is there abundant? What is abundant throughout the southern part of the region? arable land. So arable land is important because it's very conducive, or it's very perfect for farming. So what is abundant through the southern part of the region? Arable land. That's right here. You should be writing that. And the next answer, what kind of crops are grown on this arable land? And you have 3 crops you have to write: coffee, bananas, and sorghum. So I'm going to just scroll up a little. So while you're writing coffee, bananas, and sorghum, I'm going to go on to our next question. And we are almost done, by the way. Next question. Where are there vast forests in Africa? In the Congo River Basin, there are vast forests in Africa. So what is the answer to where are there vast forests? The answer is Congo River Basin. Okay, so now we are going on to renewable resources. Hopefully you've written down Congo River Basin, and now I can just scroll up. I'm going to leave it up there for you just in case you need it. Next question. Right now, Africa is not using that much in regards to renewable resources. They're starting to work on it, especially hydroelectric power, solar power, and solar energy and wind turbines. There is some countries that use both solar and hydroelectric. What would be one of those countries? And the answer would be Kenya. Kenya uses both solar and hydroelectric. We see that Zambia and Tanzania does have hydroelectric power plants, but my question is an example of a country that has solar and hydroelectric. So they're using sun and water. And so that's Kenya. Okay, so scrolling down here, what do we notice? The only thing we have left are questions, so you are done. But I did want to show you one thing before you're done, because I thought this was kind of good to see. If I can get it to work, I don't know. I guess it's not working, so we're going to be out of luck. But it was just a little map that I could click on this stuff, and when I clicked on it, it showed you where you could find, like, where do you find the diamonds, where do you find the gold. But it didn't load right. So anyway, let's end. That's it. That's the quick lesson. Snap a picture of your answers, send it to me, and you are officially done history for the day. Thank you.